Let us look at this. This is the function where the constants are defined in terms of a, coefficients are defined in terms of a, and we have to find out, it has to be decreased throughout, which means for all real values of x, what should be the value of a. Let us see how we handle this. The answer is minus equal to minus 3. That is D is the answer. Let us see how you do it. This is the derivative. Yes, you can divide by 3, and then this is what you do. It should be negative because you want the function to be decreasing, so it has to be negative, less than or equal to 0. Now you know this is a quadratic expression, and if a quadratic expression has to be negative for all values of x, then what it requires is its leading coefficient. Coefficient of x square must be 0, because if it is positive, it will be a parabola opening up, and it can not be always negative. So if it has to be always negative, then it must be a parabola which is opening downside. So that means your coefficient of x square must be less than 0, and the discriminant should also be negative, which means it will always be less than 0. There are no real roots, so that the parabola never intersects the x-axis, so therefore it is always below the x-axis, and therefore the values of y is always negative. So that is what you are doing here. This should be less than 0. The coefficient x square should be less than 0, and therefore you have a less than 1. And the discriminant for b square minus 4ac, this also should be less than 0. So you have a less than minus 2 and a into a plus 3 greater than 0. Now if a into a plus 3 has to be greater than 0, then a has to be less than minus 3, or a can be greater than 0, because if a is between minus 3 to 0, for example, if you take minus 2 or something, you can see this product becomes negative. So these are the two conditions that it must meet, and your answer is the intersection of both these conditions, and those values are when a is less than minus 3. When a is less than minus 3, you meet this condition as well as you meet this condition, and therefore your answer is a is less than minus 3, which means minus infinity to minus 3.